I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is, who am I?
Let's take 100 men who all start even at the age of 25. If you asked any one of them if he wanted to be a success, he'd tell you that he did. And you'd notice that he was eager toward life. There was a certain sparkle to his eye, an erectness to his carriage, and life seemed like a pretty interesting adventure to him. But by the time these 100 men reach the age of 65, only 5 are successful.
If you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be hungry.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Talent? I don't believe in talent. I have to have the will to win.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
There's never been anybody's ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw, there's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
If you start a business, you better know your industry and your company better than anyone in the whole wide world, because you're competing. And to think that whoever it is you're competing with is just going to let you come in and take their business, obviously that's naive, and I think most people don't recognize that. If you're going to compete with me in one of my businesses, you better realize that I'm working 24 hours a day to kick your ass.
I'm afraid of something is telling me you must do that. Most of us don't understand that mentality. We go left and we wonder why we haven't fulfilled something in our lives. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of.
Take stock of your present situation, because it's nothing more nor less than the result of your past sowing.
Because it's not about where you come from. It's about heart. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You got to have heart.
No special training, just be at the fight. I'm ready to back up everything I'm saying, and I'm through talking.
This is Sparta!
What do you feel when you say the word I myself?
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever.
Woo! I love that intro. I think I really wanted to go live just to play that intro. I've been waiting to use that. But all kidding aside, I wanted to share one thing with you. This will be ultra quick. So I shared this recently with some of our higher level clients last week. So earlier last week, at the beginning of last week, I was on a summit and I was asked one question that I think is really, let me see this here, is worthy of sharing with you. And I was asked, what's the one transformational thing that I'm going to focus on in 2021? Like, what is the one thing that I'm going to focus on, and what is the one thing that I could pass along to you or to attendees of this summit? One thing that they can use to transform their experience in 2021. And so I want to pass that along to you tonight. And it's really simple. I told the host of this summit, I said, this is not, some whiz bang trick. I don't have any kind of crazy technique to share with you for productivity or time management. I said, but there's one thing that I've been talking to my own team about, that I've been really hammering into them, that is going to become a major focus for us, almost a mantra, a motto in 2021, both for me personally as well as for the team. And it's this. It's very simple. And I want you to listen to me. And I want you to ponder this after in a few minutes when I'm done. And it's this, that we are only paid, as entrepreneurs, we are only paid for done. We're not paid for doing. We're not paid for things that we're working on. We're not paid for things that we are in progress. We're not paid for running, 50 yards down the field or 75% of the way, right? We're paid for done. We're paid for completing things, completing projects, completing tasks. And I know that sounds, it's so simple, right? But it's so easy for so many entrepreneurs and so many marketers to get caught up in the doing. They're working on a campaign. They're working on an email sequence. They're working on, a webinar. They're working on a new product, and they're working on things. They're in progress. It's being done. And I know that that is part of the process. We have to do, right? We have to work on things in order to complete them. But it's important to understand that we're paid for done, that the reward comes from done. The reward doesn't come from the doing, not the financial reward, not the business growth reward. The business growth reward, the financial reward comes from done, comes from bringing things to completion. And so how am I going to take that for my team and translate that over into something actionable? How can you take that and translate it over into something actionable on your own to-do list, on your own calendar every day? Well, it's simple. It's this. It's, I want you to stop thinking about what you're going to work on tomorrow, what you're going to work on next week, what you're going to work on next month. And I want you to start to think about and write down, whether it's, you're putting it into your calendar, you're writing it down, however it is that you're managing your to-dos and your projects and whatnot. And I want you to focus on, what am I going to get done today? What am I going to get done this week? What am I going to get done this month? Yes, that's going to require you to take certain projects, like let's take a marketing campaign, for example, and break it down into smaller chunks. See, rather than having a general, I need to complete this marketing campaign, or I'm going to work on this marketing campaign. And then today you set aside an hour of your time or 2 hours of your time to work on your marketing campaign. I want to see you break it down into smaller chunks so that you can decide, what am I going to get done today? Maybe today I'm going to get done, I'm going to write the headline. Maybe today I'm going to complete the offer. By the time I am finished with my day today, the offer for my campaign is going to be done. Maybe you say, today I'm going to get done the lead, the first 350 to 400 words of the campaign. Maybe it's, today I'm going to get done the CPB chunks, my marketing argument portion of my campaign. See, rather than putting down on your calendar, on your to-do list, I'm going to work on X. Put down what you're going to get done. Be focused on done, completed, not in progress. You want to build up this momentum of completion, right? Getting things done, not just working on. There is, a whole psychological aspect to even operating that way, right? Like that when you look back yesterday and you see, I got these 4 things done, and today I'm going to get these 4 things done, and tomorrow I'm going to get these 5 things done. You build up momentum. First of all, you build up self-confidence. You build up, you enhance your self-worth by seeing yourself getting things done, rather than this perpetual ongoing working on. I'm working on this campaign. And what you say to yourself and to others for weeks on end is, I'm working on this campaign. I'm working on this campaign. And when you're repeating to yourself, I'm working on this campaign, I'm working on this campaign, right? It can feel like it's this never-ending journey. Instead, decide what you're going to get done tomorrow. Show up, right? Decide tonight what it is that you're going to get done tomorrow, and focus on that and measure and monitor that. Don't put into your calendar what you're going to work on. Don't put like what you're going to try, what you're going to do, what you're going to bring 75% of the way down the field. We only get paid for done. And so I want you to focus on done. And so, hope that helps. Let me see if there are any. I don't really do live streams often like this. And so let me just see something here. Let's see this. I don't know. How do I do this? Let me see. So I can, not a clue how this works. Yeah, like, I love it. Justin, that's spot. So Justin said, let's see, how do I do this? There we go. Look at that fancy pants little, Justin, I love it. And you're right. Like it's one of those things, and I hate to say that, I got to be careful in how I say certain things, because I don't want to give the wrong idea, but I'd rather have something done that is 70% as good as I can get it than not done and me working on it, endlessly pursuing perfect, right? Because endlessly pursuing perfect is a fool's errand. I was asked, and I think I shared it in the Marketer's Mind memo this past week. Hopefully each and every one of you guys and gals are reading that. I think it comes out every Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And so we send out an email every Saturday. And I talked about, I was asked this question of how do I deal with and overcome perfectionism, right? As it relates to, marketing, or maybe just in general, right? I took it as, how do I deal with perfectionism when it comes to, how do I deal with and overcome perfectionism as it relates to our marketing? And my response was that I don't struggle with perfectionism at all. And so I don't need to overcome it. I don't struggle with perfectionism because I believe that the pursuit of perfectionism or perfect is this fool's errand. It's an illusion, because you will never get to the point where you think that your marketing campaign is perfect, right? You will never. There is no such thing, because we can always improve it. As you get better, as you get smarter, as you get savvier, as your marketing chops improve, you'll always be able to look back at things and say, oh my God, I look back at some of my campaigns, even from 4 years ago, 3 years ago even, and I'm like, oof, like, oh gosh, I can't believe I missed X, or I missed Y, or I missed Z, right? And so you will always look back at things and be able to make it better, or get it better, make it better. And so I don't pursue perfect when it comes to marketing. And hopefully this is an encouragement to some of you. When it comes to marketing, I pursue good enough, meaning, do I believe that this can get the job done? Like if I'm, and this, we could go crazy, we could go deep into a rabbit hole here, of what does that mean, get the job done, in terms of metrics, in terms of, our key performance indicators, which I'll save for a different Facebook Live. But, excuse me. But my whole idea, will this get the job done? Right? Will this get the job done? Not, is it perfect? Not, is it flawless? Not, is this my best work ever? Right? That's just not the way. Look, when it comes to business, when it comes to marketing, there's value in speed. There's value in speed. There's value in launching and getting your campaign out into the wild as quickly as possible, because it's only until we get it out into the wild that we get data, that we get metrics. Every decision that you make, let me take a step back and share this. I wasn't planning on going this long, but I might as well roll with it. Let me see some cool comments. Thank you for saying that. Imperfect action done is better than absolutely. So let's bring this bad boy up. Is it Miket? What a cool name. New member. I think I just responded to a comment from you inside of, and so, whoops. So let me get rid of that. But let me say this, that this is one of the big mistakes that, and I share this with our E5 coaching clients all the time, right? Because this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see, not only with our new clients, but with the, entrepreneurs and marketers in general. And that is this. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with me on just this little impromptu gig here. And so, and like I said, I don't normally do these Facebook Lives. And so, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Is this. So one of the big mistakes is this, when you're engineering your campaign, when you're working on putting together your campaign message and your lead and your offer, your argument, all that stuff, your headline, the big mistake is endlessly going back and editing and tweaking and editing and tweaking and editing and tweaking. Why? Because every decision that you make about improving your campaign, fixing it, making it better, every decision that you make during the engineering stage, as it relates to, I'm going to change this sentence, I'm going to change this word, I'm going to change this phrase, and you endlessly go back and let me tweak it, let me change. Every change that you make, every decision that you make at that point is being made subjectively. It's being made based purely on your opinion, your feeling, your belief, what you like, what you don't like, absent of any data. You see, during the engineering stage, it's all subjective. And so we want to get through that subjective decision making as it relates to your marketing as quickly as we possibly can. So I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for, do I believe that this can get the job done? When I go back and look at it, is there anything glaring that's missing? Are there any glaring weaknesses in here? Did I hit all the dots, so to speak? If so, good, get it out. Get it out. Why? Because by getting it out and getting it into the wild, that's when we're able to get data back. And that's the beauty of the type of marketing that we do, right? Direct response marketing. The beauty of direct response marketing compared to brand institutional advertising is that direct response marketing is data driven. It's metric driven, right? Everything is quantifiable. Everything is measurable, right? Unlike brand institutional advertising, like, what's done by Home Depot or Coca-Cola or whatever, right? All of our stuff that we do is quantifiable, is measurable, is trackable, meaning that it's all data driven. The data tells us what's going on in a campaign. The data is able to show us what's the constraint or the weak link or the bottleneck in the process. So it tells us what to focus our enhancement efforts on, or our optimization efforts on. And so I want to go from subjective decision-making to objective decision-making. Objective meaning based on data, based on the numbers, based on what we're, the quantifiable numbers that we're getting back. I want to go from subjective to objective decision-making as quickly as I can. I want to remove my opinion. I want to remove my assumptions as much as I can. I'd love to say that I'm flawless in all my assumptions and decisions as it relates to marketing. Right? I'm certainly good, thank goodness. And I'm certainly a lot better than I was early on. But I certainly can't say I've never been wrong about, I think that this is going to outperform this, right? A is going to outperform B, and then we test it, and B outperforms A, right? And I learned early on from Bill Bonner, a gentleman who is the founder of Agora, arguably the 800-pound gorilla in the world of direct response marketing and publishing today, a client of mine, $1.5 billion a year company, that we're not in the why business, we're in the what business. What he meant by that, specifically in this context, is sometimes I don't know why something performs better than something else. I could speculate, you could speculate, but at the end of the day, all that really matters is what performed better. What performed better based on the data, based on objective numbers. That's the business we're in. We're in the business of numbers. Many of you have heard me say before that that this business, the direct response driven businesses, direct response, marketing driven businesses, are all about psychology, communication, and arithmetic. That's it. Psychology, communication, and arithmetic. Psychology of who? Psychology of the audience, psychology of your market. What are the people that you are talking to? What matters to them? What do they think about? What do they fear? What do they want more of? What do they want less of in their life, right? What would move and motivate and inspire them? What do they see as the perfect solution? What do they see as the negatives of a solution? It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about what you like. It's not about what I like. It's not about what moves us. It's not about what we're fascinated by. It's about what fascinates and moves and inspires the market. It's their thinking, right? And how has their thinking been impacted by what competitors are saying, what competitors are offering, right? The hooks, the ideas, the leads, the angles, all that stuff, right? So it's all about the psychology of your audience, period. Everything begins there. That's why, as a side note, right, as part of let me do this. I love bringing these little things in, right? So cool. These little comments as I deviate now, right? I love these little comments. And especially when they say things like this. I can't see that enough. I love it. Yeah, Justin, I learned that early on. It's not like, I don't always know why, right? Just to address Justin, I don't always know why something works, but it's not about that. It really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter why. It's great to learn from it. It's great to be able to improve our marketing chops from it. But at the end of the day, it's not about why. It's what worked, right? What worked, period. Whether we understand why or not. And so with that, I totally forgot what I was going to say. And so my attention was deviated. And so I don't even remember where I was going. Who can remember? Who knows what I was about to say? Somebody tell me, pop it into the comment section. What was the last thing I said before I went back to that? What was I saying? I don't remember. I do not remember. Oh, that's right. There you go. I love it. It's beautiful. I'm not sure who shared that, but we'll pop that up right there. Anyway, psychology, right, of your audience. Once we, right, everything begins there. That's why in the E5 method, the first E, right, is examination, because we're going to look at prospects, then we're going to look at competitors, then we're going to look at your product or your service. Exactly, Mike. Squirrel. What? And so everything begins there. You have to begin there, right? Always begins with the market. Then there's communication, and communication is, right, what we say and how we say it based on the understanding of the psychology. Now that we know what moves the market, what fascinates the market, what is the market is interested in, what the market wants, what the market is inspired by, what the market has heard before, what the market hasn't heard before, all those things. Now that we know that, that's when we can put together our message. That's the communication. We're communicating the what, right? Like what are we communicating and how are we communicating it based on the psychology? Those are the first two. The third is then arithmetic. This is all about math, meaning I don't mean arithmetic in the sense that it's a numbers game. Like, I'm not talking about it's a numbers game. You want to sell more, talk to more people or anything like that. I'm talking about that it's a data-driven game. It's all about math. Many of you have heard me talk about before the idea of that when it comes to customer acquisition. This is another one of the like insanely valuable things that I learned over this almost 20 year journey in the world of direct response, is that customer acquisition, acquiring clients, acquiring customers, acquiring buyers, is much more like being an investor than it is anything else. It is much more like being an investor than it is anything else. That is the single most valuable analogy, if you will, that I can share with you, because, right, we are investing in the acquisition of assets. Those assets are clients, are customers, right? And I don't mean to, those of you that have been around me for any length of time, you know that, right? Like, the single most important thing to me is that folks, our clients, our students get results, that we pour into them, that we edify, that we build up. We, as a company, we value, we put our folks first. We put our folks on a pedestal, which is where I believe they should be. You should be. So don't take anything that I'm about to say out of context. But, right, we are in the business of acquiring assets, right? Those assets are our clients, right? Those assets have a value today. The amount of money that they spend with us the day that they become a buyer, a client, a customer, a student, whatever it is, right? They have a value today, and then they have a future value. That future value is based on the additional transactions that they participate in, right? As they buy more from you, as they want to get more value from you, no matter what your product or service may be, as they want to invest more with you to get even more value, more benefits, more results, more transformation, right? That increases their, what's typically referred to as lifetime value, or the value of a buyer to you, right? So we're investing in the acquisition of assets. Those assets have a value today, and those assets have a future value. The difference between investing in an equity, a stock, a bond, a mutual fund or whatnot, compared to what it is that we're doing, is that when it comes to the stock market, right, we know what the value is today, but the future value is a pure speculation, right? You could make the case that it's a bet. Could be an educated bet, could be a guess, could be a hope, could be a prayer and a dream, whatever, right? But we know what the value of that asset is today when we buy it, and we think we believe, right, where the asset is going to be in the future. But what we're doing is we're basing it on objective numbers. When you have enough, when we acquire for your business enough buyers, enough clients, enough students, enough customers, whatever it may be, right, we're going to know over time what the average buyer is worth to you the day that they become a buyer and what that average buyer is worth to you in the future. So we're going to know what the average amount is on day 0 and what the future average amount is. Based on that, we're able to make decisions about what we're willing to invest to get the buyer, right? To get that buyer, because it's all arithmetic. It's all math. Just investing is math, right? It's everybody knows the buy low, sell high. That's math. That's the same thing that we're doing. We're just using different metrics to make those decisions. But that's the game. And that's the beauty of this game. That's why it's psychology, communication, and then it's arithmetic. Right. And so hope that makes sense. Let me just see if I believe that you can go to toddsfreebook.com and you can find the bundle there. Sorry, I don't see the name, but Todd's Free Book. There you go. Appreciate that, Ollie. And so that is all she wrote for today. Hopefully this little impromptu live was valuable for you. If somebody's got a question for me, I'm down to take a question. If somebody's got one while I'm here, might as well. So somebody said, here, let me pop this in. What you're saying reflects Eugene Schwartz said in his book, Breakthrough Advertising. It's all about letting the market decide. So you're absolutely correct. I believe, just as a side note, some of you have heard me say this before, I believe Breakthrough Advertising is the single most valuable marketing book ever published, hands down, bar none. There's not even a close second. There is not even a close second. It's a deep read. It's not a, you're going to want to read it. Like it's a marketing book that you should read annually. You really should read it every year. Much of my thinking was impacted early on by Breakthrough Advertising. So you can see that a lot of my approach came from Breakthrough Advertising, through Gene Schwartz, and came from my time in the world with Agora and Mark Ford, and then my time in the online space. And so it is a fantastic book. But let's end with the same way that I started for you guys and gals, and that is 2021. Single transformational nugget for you is focus on done. Don't focus on doing. Don't focus on progress. Don't focus on working on. Decide each day what it is that you're going to get done. Write down. So I don't care how small it is, if you take a big project and you break it down into the tiniest increments, focus on done. What are you going to get done tomorrow, right? And what are you going to get done on Wednesday? What are you going to get done this week? At the end of the week, what are you going to be able to say, these things are done? Next month, what is it that you are going to get done to grow your business? Focus on done, not doing. Remember, we get paid for done, not doing. And so with that, love you guys. Love what it is that you guys are sharing in the MFA Nation group. Man, so honored, so humbled, so grateful for all of you and for your engagement and for your sharing and for what it is that I see in the group. And so thank you so much for that. I'm sure I'll do more of these little, Facebook Lives in 2021. In fact, I know I'm going to be doing more of these. The team's got some stuff scheduled for me. But you guys and gals are out of here. Hope that each and every one of you have an amazing new year. If I don't speak to you before then, New Year's Eve. And we'll talk soon. And so, if you need my help or want my personal help and help of my team implementing the E5 method, go to learnfromtodd.com, schedule a call with one of our E5 advisors. They'll help you identify the constraint in your business right now. And if you want, with your permission, they'll explain what it would look like for you to work directly with me as well as my leadership team. And you could find out more about that at learnfromtodd.com. And so with that, everybody, God bless you guys. Be safe, be healthy. Talk soon.